Hi guys, welcome to another tutorial on IT tutorials. I'm Josef Bodnar, and I invite you to another tutorial regard to graphics GDI plus programming in C Sharp. First of all, I want to provide you a few theoretical knowledges about GDI plus graphics programming. GDI plus provides three types of drawing surfaces, namely forms, printers, and bitmaps. When you create images in memory and save them as a bitmap, the bitmap functions as a drawing surface. You can set the image, width, height, the resolution, and the color, depth properties. So these are the three types of drawing surfaces. Forms, so like here, yeah, this one, as you can see now on the screen, printers and bitmaps. Every drawing application, regardless of the operating system, consists of three common components: a canvas, a brush or pen, and a process. The canvas is the space on which objects will be drawn. For example, in a Windows application, a Windows form is a canvas. So this form is a canvas. A brush or a pen represents the texture, the color, and the width of the objects to be drawn on the canvas. The process describes how the objects are drawn on the canvas. To draw graphics objects, you need to have a pen or a brush, which defines the texture, color, and width of the drawing. For example, if you draw a line or a rectangle, you need to create a pen as the object, which will set the color and the width. The process component of the drawing application includes making a call to draw the line or rectangle on the form, which actually is calling a method which will draw the line or the rectangle on the form. Each drawing surface has four common properties, such as width, height, resolution, and color depth. The width and height properties of a surface determine the size of the surface, and they are specified by the number of pixels, horizontally and vertically, respectively. The resolution property of a surface is a measurement of the output quality of graphics objects or images in dots per inch, or a DPI. The color depth of a surface is the number of colors used to represent each pixel. I tried to make a definition for a pixel. A pixel is the smallest element that participates in the drawing process to display graphics objects or images on the screen. The pixel density is often represented by a value in dots per inch, or dpi. The quality of a pixel is directly proportional to the color depth. For example, in GDI Plus, we have the color structure, which represents a color. This color structure has four color components: alpha, red, green, and blue. This red, green, and blue is represented by RGB. Yeah. So it's obvious here, this RGB stands for red, green, and blue, which represents the number of possible colors. Each component in RGB has 256 colors, and we can create for each component 256 color combinations. Another component of color structure is alpha component. This determines the transparency of the color, which affects how the color mixes with other colors. So these are all the theoretical knowledge that I wanted to provide to you. I think these are quite important. Yeah, it would have been better if I can make a PowerPoint presentation, but unfortunately my free time doesn't allow me to do a PowerPoint presentation. All right, so let's start the application. I'm going to do a application which will draw a few shapes like a rectangle and a few ellipses. So right click, select view code. Also, you have to know that you can draw shapes using this method, protecting override void on paint. With this parameter, paint event arcs, which is a class with this object E. Already I created this object G using this graphics class. As you can notice, this instance of this object G is a bit different than usual, than the classic one. Yeah, I use this form to instance this object G. Yeah, I use this parameter E dot and this property graphics. So you can't use the classic way using this keyword new and after the graphics class and parentheses. Yeah, you will get error. Yeah, so this is the way to get this G object of this class graphics in GDI graphical programming. Yeah, using this E parameter of this class paint event arcs and the graphics properties. All right, so let's go further. I'm going to use this G object to get this property smoothing mode, which will make the edge of the shapes to be more smooth, Yeah, and that's why I use this property smoothing mode. Yeah, dot anti-alias semicolon. I have already have in my application this namespace drawing to D. Yeah, if you don't have, I remove it. Yeah, you will receive errors, and just click on this yellow bulb and select this using system.drawing 2D. Yeah, all right. Okay, now I want to draw a rectangle. To do so, I'm going to use this class rectangle, and I'm going to create this object rect equal new keyword and rectangle. Actually, this is a structure, as you can see, but the structure can be used as any class, so can be used to instance an object, and can be used to initialize a constructor. Now here this constructor has these parameters. So the x, the y, yeah. So is this one x 10, y 10, and after the width and the height. The width 150 and the height another 150. All right. So this is the rectangle, the features of the rectangle, and now I need to create a pen which is going to be used to draw this rectangle, and I want my pen to be red, so I want this rectangle to be drawn using the red color equal new pen using this pen class, and here I'm going to use this structure color to get the color, and I want to get the red color, yeah. And I'm gonna to set here as well, as you can see. Here is another parameter, the width. Let it be 4 pixels, yeah. Okay. Now I want another pen, black pen, and I'm going to use another glass pens to get the black color. Yeah. So I want to use this pen to draw a line, actually, a black line. Okay. To fill or to create filled shapes, you have to use this class solid brush. Yeah. And I want my shape to be filled with green colors. Therefore, I'm going to name this object green B equal new solid brush color dot green. Yeah. All right. Here you go. Now I'm going to draw the first rectangle using this object G, which we'll call this method draw rectangle, which will draw a rectangle, yeah, using the pen object, and I'm going to use this red P object of this class, because I want this rectangle to be red, drawn with red color, yeah, and I'm going to use this rect. Yeah, here I got another parameter of this class rect, and I'm going to use this object rect because I want this method to draw a rectangle. Yeah. All right, and let's see now how my rectangle looks like. Here you go. Here is my rectangle. So the color is red, as you can see, because I use this object red P, which provides this color red, and the width is 4. Also here this rectangle was drawn in this way, yeah. So I used this object rectangle created using this class rectangle. The object is rect, sorry. The x is 10, the y is 10, yeah. So this is the x 10, the y 10, and this is the starting point from where the computer starts to draw, and starts to draw to right, create the width, which is 150, and after the height 150, and again the width 150, and the height 150, yeah. Okay, so in this way the computer drawn this rectangle using the red color. Now I want to draw inside that rectangle a ellipse, a circle, using this G object to call this fill ellipse. Actually, I need a fill ellipse method. Yeah, and I'm going to use this green B object because I want my ellipse to be filled with green color. So I'm going to use again this rect object because I want this ellipse to be inside that rectangle. Yeah, let's release again this application. So here you go. Here is my ellipse inside this rectangle, as you can see. Yeah, because I used here another parameter rect for this method fill ellipse. So that's why this ellipse, this circle was drawn inside this rectangle using this color green to be filled in. Yeah. All right. uh, which was done using this object green B of this class solid brush. Yeah. All right. So now I'm going to create another ellipse filled with colors. So I'm going to use again this G object, which we'll call this fill ellipse method, parentheses. And here I'm gonna to use the brushes, actually the brushes classes, this one, yeah, brushes, yeah, and dot, because I can get a color straight using this class, like a blue, yeah. All right, okay, and now here I'm gonna to use 70. Actually, the overloads here, yeah, it should be this one, yeah. So any of these two, yeah, can be, but because I use the integer, it is about this one, yeah. And now okay, now I'm setting I set the brush, and now I set the X and the Y 70, and now for Y 220, and width 30, and height another 30. Okay, so semicolon. Let's release this application again. Here you go. Here is my first circle, my first ellipse. So how this was drawn by computer. Yeah, so first these brushes set the color blue, as you can see. This 70 is the X, yeah. So here is X 70, and Y 220, yeah, 220, and this is the starting point to draw for computer, yeah. And this is the width 30, and computer start drawing this direction up to 30, and after 30 for height, and yeah, and so on. And in this way, the computer drawn this circle, this ellipse. All right. Okay, but if you remember, I created this object black band, so I want to draw a line. Yeah, so I'm going to use again this object G, the method draw line, parentheses. I'm going to use this black pen, yeah, black pen object, 0 for X, 250 for Y. I'm going to use this and the width property, yeah, for this X, and 250, yeah. Okay, all right, let's release this application. Let's see how this works. Here you go. So I got this line, as you can see, yeah, this black line, as you can see, yeah. Yeah, this one is the Y, the 250, and the X, yeah, 0. Yeah, this is a starting point to draw this line, and here again we've got 250 and 0 for X to the ending point. Yeah. All right. So let's go further, and now I'm going to copy and paste this a few times. All right, because I'm going to draw another ellipse, fill the ellipse, and here I'm going to use this color, sky blue. Okay, and here 100 for X, 200, 210 for Y, and 40 for the X and Y for the ending point. Yeah, here I'm going to use the green color. Okay, 140, 200, and here 50. The next one, let it be yellow. All right, 190, 190, 60, and another 60. Okay. And this one, let it be violet. So here 250, 180, 70, and 70. All right, good. And the last one, I want to be red. Red, 320, 170, 80, and another 80. All right. Okay. A very important thing is to use the dispose method to free the memory of the objects used in this application. In the .NET framework, the garbage collector is responsible for managing resources associated with an object. When you dispose an object, the garbage collector collects the object right away and frees all the resources associated with that object from memory. If you don't dispose of an object, the garbage collector will keep track of the object, and if an object is not used for a certain amount of time, it will be disposed of it automatically by garbage collector. So it's a good practice to use the dispose method to free the memory. Yeah, even as I told you, the garbage collector after a while will remove automatically the object from the memory. So if you don't remove the objects using the dispose method from memory, this will slow your application. Yeah. So let's use to dispose the object. So I'm going to dispose this object green. I use this object green. Yeah. B. Yeah. Dispose. All right. Another is red pen. Yeah. Dispose. Red P. And the G object. Here you go. So let's release this application. Let's save and let's release the app. Let's see how this looks like. Here you go. Here is my application. I can resize this form, make it a bit smaller, like that. Let's release it again. Here you go. This is the result of this application, which drew this rectangle and this ellipse inside the rectangle, filled up by green color, and this series of ellipses. filled by this color: blue, sky blue, green, yellow, violet, and red, and underneath this black line. Uh, I told you I use this property smoothing mode. Yeah, this has the role to smooth the edge of the shapes. Let's comment this out and let's see how the edges of these shapes will look like. As you can see now, if you pay attention here on the edges, you will see that they are not smooth. They don't look good, yeah, on these edges of these shapes. Yeah, so that's why it's good to use this property. So let's remove the comment, let's release it again, and now you will see the edges of these shapes looks very good. They are very smooth, as you can see. Yeah, so that's all for today. Thank you for watching this video tutorial. I'm waiting for you to watch my other video tutorials. See you next time. Bye bye.